Welcome back everybody to macro_action. Today what I'm going to be doing is going through my editing process from start to finish. The problem with my editing is it's quite simplistic because I don't really do a lot. It might seem like I do a lot, but compared to what I see other people doing when they're blending and brushing tools in and all of this, I really don't do a lot. I just do the basic things that are there, and hopefully this can help you guys to improve your editing, because like I said, I don't do a lot. So if I don't do a lot and I'm getting the results I'm getting, hopefully you can do the same. To start off with, I do not use Lightroom. I use Photoshop, and I only use Photoshop because the way that when I open my images and the way I look at my images, it's a lot easier for me to do it on Photoshop. So I save my pictures on this. It's a 4 terabyte glyph hard drive, and I back it up to this, which is a Lacy 8 terabyte hard drive. And the reason for this is because I don't like too much online stuff. You never know, you might leave the platform or whatever. I've always got my stuff with me. This is almost entirely everything I've ever taken a photo of, all downloaded to these 2 bits of devices here. I do save my photos online once they've been edited, but I don't save the raw files online anywhere. They're just all on my hard drives. Like I said, the reason for that is I just prefer them being with me. They're in separate parts of the house, so if anything ever happened, God forbid, the only thing that probably hurt me is a fire. Right, hopefully this is recording properly. I haven't got a clue. If not, I'll have to redo this whole thing and show you the screen after. So I've gone into one of my hard drives. Let me go. I'll go back and show you exactly how I do it. So when I open my hard drive, it comes up like this. I've got all my stuff saved like this. I'm going to start with the 11th of August because I've kind of had a quick look, and it's hopefully should be an easy one to show you. I'm going to go through to these, was it here? Yeah. I'm going to go through to this hoverfly. Now, obviously, this photo I've got here is way too small in the frame. Even if I blow it up, you can see it's going to be very, very grainy because it's so small in the frame, and it's not going to be as much detail. So I search for bigger things in the frame. So I'm going to keep looking through till I find something nice and the biggest I can possibly get with the most detail. I'm very random when I post, by the way, so this is why you'll see me posting things from years before and whatever, because I just have a day when I think, oh, you know what, I want to post, I remember taking that picture, so I want to post something about that picture. Let's have a quick look. I still don't like some of these. Side-ons are nice, but I'm looking for a full frontal shot. I love this insect. I can't remember what it's called. It's called a Exerogramma, something or other. It's a hoverfly. Like I said, it's nice to get the side-on shots, but the frontal shots are the hardest ones really to get. So I'm looking for a nice frontal shot with a lot of detail. As you can see, some of them are getting a little bit bigger. None of them are massive in the frame. Everyone thinks that when I shoot, I'm shooting so close. That's why I get all my detail. I use the megapixels of the camera, get it as large in the frame as I can with getting as much in focus as I can. Did I go past one? I must have gone past all the ones I were looking at. Not sure if I'm going to be able to find a full frontal, so let's have like a side frontal. This one's quite nice, a little bit dark, but we sort that out afterwards. Another thing that I'll probably get in the comments is, why are you not getting exactly right in camera? I would love to. It's not that simple. It's moving in and out of light. I shoot fully manual so that I'm in control of the light, but as it moves just a little bit, that light changes. But I don't like auto ISO for this kind of thing because that background could interfere with how high the ISO is going, how bright the screen's going. So I prefer to be in control of it myself, and if it's slightly off, that's why we shoot in RAW. Well, not just that's why we shoot in RAW, but it allows us that little bit of leeway. Stop the video here. Like, share, subscribe. Please, let's get this community going. Struggling to find one I really like. I like that, but I think I've already done that one. Now if I just tap this, I'll be able to see, yeah, I've already done that one. It's a good thing with this. I think it's going to have to be one of these for a full frontal. Although I'm not quite loving some of these. Pretty sure I've done this one before. Yes, I have. I love the way I pick because I always look for the best one. When I go back and look through again, I can kind of tell which one I've chosen. Or sometimes I'll choose it and then go, ah, yeah, I remember why I chose that one. And I've already done that one. So it's going to be one of these like side frontal ones. Go back there. Remember, I'm looking for the most detail. When people say, do I hammer away at the shutter to get one in focus, as you can see, these are sequences of shots. So I don't just get one, I get maybe, once I've locked in the focus, I get maybe 10 in a row. So the very first thing I do is I will chop this down to 4 megapixels. I'm just going to change the aspect ratio of this one a little bit. It depends what medium you're putting it on, what kind of frame you want it in. I will always lock these down to 4 megapixels. And this is because when I was researching, I found out that a printable picture can always be done at 4 megapixels. So, and I've proved that with one of my earlier videos actually. It was only at 4 megapixels. Sometimes what I'll do, I'll just press auto just to see what the machine would do. I don't like that, so I'm pressing auto again and we're coming back. I'll do a quick bit of sharpening. I run these up. These are kind of random what I do. I kind of always put them to the same area. If I notice that funny things are happening, I will move the sliders back down. I want it looking as realistic as possible without ruining the photo. Let's have a little bit of brightness because we're too dark. Yeah, we're too dark. I'm not too worried about the background noise because, as you'll see in a minute, I'll check that. Well, that will dissipate. Knock down the highlights a little bit. I might change that contrast again. Shadows I don't put up too much because that introduces more noise. Whites I like sometimes, but again, that can overpower with the yellows. I don't really change the blacks. I slide it sometimes just to have a look, but I don't actually change it. And then one of the most important things to do is to change this texture, because this texture gives it texture. It gives that, like if I do it right to the top, can you see? It makes all of the details stand out a bit more. So you're not sharpening it or anything like that. It's just making the detail stand out a bit more. But I'm going to knock that down a little bit because, again, that introduces noise. I don't really mess with the clarity because that introduces more noise. I sometimes even take a little bit of clarity away, and that takes a little bit of noise away. And this is all pitch dependent. I'm not going in there doing exactly the same thing every time. I change to each picture, which is why I don't do batch editing. I have started to, only because of this channel. I don't like doing batch editing. It's not something that I really like. This picture's still a little bit dark. I don't even look at the histogram, to be quite honest. I'm not really a histogram person. What I've done as well, I used to find that my pictures were coming out way too dark, probably because I don't use the histogram. But if I use the histogram, my pictures don't come out right. So what I'm doing is, if you look at the brightness of my screen, I knock my brightness down to almost halfway, so that when it comes out on social media or whatever people are watching it on, it actually comes out brighter than what I'm seeing it here, or a little bit brighter, but it's not going to be a dark photo that comes out, which was happening quite a lot actually. Once I've got to here, I go to my color. As it says there, it says as shot. I'm not really worried when I take the actual photo because it's in RAW. I set it to, I think I set it to natural or daylight or something like that, but it makes no difference because all I do is, as soon as I come into it, I press daylight, which makes it a little bit too warm. I turn the brightness up, the saturation up. I don't touch the vibrance. Sometimes I might even knock this vibrance down, but I'm not going to. And then I slide this one until it looks kind of natural, a natural color. So it's a bright and it's a saturated photo, but this, bringing this, is it blue, more towards the blues, makes it look a lot more natural. If you do it too much, obviously that's going to look blue. But if you go about here, that to me gives it much more of a natural look. you see there are things in the background, but you won't even notice as much because you've cropped in so deep. The background kind of almost melts away because of that. This is such a colourful insect, as in those yellows are really quite bright. I mean, even with my colourblind eyes, I notice how bright it is. This has probably taken quite a long time to what I would normally do, because I normally just in there done. I know how quick I do mine. I can normally do a photo in roughly around about 3 minutes each photo, but I treat them individually. It's a work of, it's not a work of art. It's art. It's an art form. So treat it like an art form. At least give it what it deserves. So what I do here, I've gone into the detail again, and underneath you've got this. What I always do, I'll look for the most important part of the photo, which is this part here, the eyes, obviously. And what I do, if I was to knock that down to nothing, can you see how much noise is in there? All I do, I'm not worried about the background, I'm worried about the noise in the eyes itself. So I slide that till there's, even here, I don't want to take too much away, because if you start, I suppose I could, yeah, around about there. Yeah? Doesn't look very detailed, so all I do is I just press enhance. I leave that, let it do its work, but this circle here on the right hand side, next to the denoise button, will go round, and once that's done, then we've got an enhanced photo. Alright, so we've let it do its thing. I don't know if you noticed, it actually went a little bit darker, but you see there's much less noise in the background now. That is quite dark actually. I don't know why it's done that. It doesn't normally do that. I'll have to just raise that a bit. It's actually made the whole photo go a bit dark. Sometimes I like just rejig it afterwards, because I don't always know why it does things like that, but a little bit of contrast down. Anyway. So now we've got our base photo. So all I'm going to do is save that. Just need to change the name of that to, I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to call it X. It's an X grammar something or other. And let's just call it X grammar. All right. Save that. I press done. Oh, I won't press done. I'm going to show you the original picture again. Reset to full. So we've gone from there to there. That size. We're going to press done, and now what it's done, it's gone into my ready to upload files. It should have done anyway, and I come to my you would do it whichever way you do it. I'm so simplistic, I don't know how to do it any other way. So all I do now, it's called X grammar, so I go into Topaz Sharpen, browse my images. It's going to be the last one because X is, oh, it's not going to be the last one. It's nowhere near the last one. So it's here. X grammar. Right, now, I don't know if you noticed that before that started, that made that really, really soft in the eyes there. It took away too much. I normally start with this one to see what this one does. This one will really over sharpen sometimes. So you have to be careful with this one. Very blurry motion blur. That's not too bad today actually. Sometimes I don't actually use this. This is actually making it really, really. I think I went too far when I did the denoise in Photoshop. I think I actually went too far. This is why I don't like doing it too much. That's why it's taken away so much detail from the eyes. You see, I'm not happy with that really, to be honest. Because even if I do that, just look at the background and everything. Look here, it's created a bit of a problem here. I don't like this today. I don't know what's happened. Close without saving. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to redo this because I don't like what happened. I don't know why it did that. I think I went too deep with the denoise in here. Let's bring that back again. Yeah, I probably went way too deep, because this is going to be the focal point really. It might be because I brightened it afterwards. I don't know what happened, but it just really, I didn't like the way that did all that. But anyway, let's go to here now. That was 15 instead. Sorry, got to rejig this for you now. Like I said, we wait for this circle to happen. Alright, we need to save that again. It's going to be X grammar again, but this time it's going to be, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Don't need that one anymore. That's my second one. I just put this photo up yesterday, by the way. Yeah, that was the finished product. Anyway, we're going to go back to Sharpen. Like I said, if I find that sharpen is giving me problems, I might go to denoise or something like that, but I don't always use the same one. It all depends on each photo. So we've got a little bit more detail now in the eyes. No, I don't like that one. This one is making like problems here because they're very noisy. I think that's going to be our best one today. With no noise suppression. See, it does a little bit of noise suppression anyway. That's why I don't use denoise anymore. Sharpen's good enough. I don't really, and it doesn't sharpen it that much. It just gives it a bit of zing, basically. It's not anything too special. All right. So now when I go into here again, this was without the sharpen, and this is with the sharpen. So it's a subtle difference. It's not anything special, but can you see the noise difference? I'm not even using denoise. To be honest, let me just go back in there. Let me just show you something. I probably could have given that a little bit more because the background noise is quite prevalent. Let's just go back into that again. So if you find that you don't like the background noise, just give it a little bit of suppressed noise in the background. Let's just try that. So now I should have back to back to back those 3 photos. Look, so this is without it. And you know what? It is presentable without it. But I do like to denoise my photos. It just gives it emphasizes the picture more, basically. Is there noise in there? It's more like a color. Oh my god, more like a color noise. It's like blotchy. These things aren't always perfect. It's very good, but they're not always perfect. You have to play around with them sometimes. So this is the original without any denoise, not without any denoise, without any sharpening. This is the next one. So the sharpening actually hasn't made much difference. Can you see it? It's not like I've really sharpened the picture a lot. I can see the back has probably a little bit more emphasized. That, to be honest, if I was to be critical about this, the back here is kind of, I can't remember what the word is. It's got chromatic aberrations. But you're going to find this with some photos. It's not always easy. It's a natural light I'm shooting in. But anyway, so I would say, I don't know which one to be honest. I think that one's going to be, so I'm going to delete this one and the first one. Oh, I'm going to delete the third one and the first one, and that's going to be my final image. When you upload it to social media, so if I was to upload this to Flickr, I would just upload it like this. But when I upload it to Instagram or X or whatever, I use a square format. So to be quite honest, I probably might have given this a little bit more space. I wasn't really thinking because I'm just showing you guys, yeah? But I might have given it a touch more space so that when I then upload it to social media, I can do a complete square format without cutting those wings off. But anyway, yeah, this is all my ones that are to come, to go up. Yeah? That's how I edit. I hope that helps you a little bit. I will say, for it to be a good photo, it has to be sharp enough in the first place. If it's too tiny in the frame, you're going to get a lot more noise and not so much detail. The more you get used to it, is the more you'll know how far to crop, how far you can push it. You can still push any photo and really experiment, but the more you improve, the more you'll think, I don't really want to use that one, it's too small or something like that. Like I said, social media is different because when you put it on, say, Instagram, you can crop even deeper and nobody will notice that you've even cropped it. It's not a problem. Most of these are they're all 4 megapixels, all of them. It doesn't show it on here because I don't know where it shows it, but they're all 4 megapixel images. Once I've finished with them, they started off, most of them, at 45 megapixels or 20 megapixels on the OM. Have I got any OM shots here? Right, so these are shot with the OM, and these were all 20 megapixels at the beginning. Yeah? I hope this helps. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on the notification bells. See you on the next one.